morning, everyone. How are you? It's Michael again. Today we're going to do the reminder again about not watching the program, so you won't be held responsible. But I want you to learn, and I want you to understand that, you know, today's topic is contracting. And I want to kind of put a couple of things together here so you can understand and be able to communicate, you know, to people that that, the opportunities before, large corporations or before the wealthy come in and take over, which they already have. And I believe I can specifically point to this particular area of our society in contracting when it comes to the fact that the contracting has policies and such for each state that actually require the government to contract with the public. Now, the problem is the policies are not enforceable, and these are ways for the wealthy to get around separating, corporations from the public, because a corporation is not the public. And this is exactly the reason why the public is not getting those billions of dollars that the federal, the states, the counties and the cities spend every year. And I mean billions of dollars, but those billions of dollars are going to the corporations. Why? Because of Office Max, Office Depot. They'll come up with Office Supply Inc. or Office Me or Office That, and Staples and all these other people for the corporations. And this won't be the last time I talk about the corporations, but the contracting issue is massive. It's from road work to parties and catering, and again, there's supplies and warehouse and all the things that are purchased by the federal government. Weapons. You saw that movie about the gun dealer guys. It was a haphazard issue, but these guys turned out to be millionaires. Not everybody's a supplier. Not everybody's even a good business person. And this is where the issue comes in. So you have to look at the contracting as an issue to where this is how the middle class stayed the middle class. Until, and I'd have to say, right around the 60s, 70s, was when all the corporations began to come into play. I know why, because me and my brother were one of the first people to work at the McDonald's. We were the first black people to work at the McDonald's over where we lived. And this was like the second store. I mean, by the time we got there, they were only into millions of how many hamburgers and, not the billions that they're working on right now, but it goes to show you. And I'm only using McDonald's as an example because, the corporation issue is the fact that you have these same 5% people that own all these corporations. Because they're the only people that have the money. They don't come and look for deserving poor people. They don't do that. There's no system in this country that says that I want to make sure that I come, and let's take this guy Trump. He's been in business for years. His daddy got him the money. He's not a self-made millionaire. Not like your guy Cuban, these guys, but the reason why they're millionaires and billionaires now is because these are the only people that have money. So when it's time to do houses, well, I got the money for that. I got a couple $1 million. Well, let's put that in. Okay, I'm going to do that every year. So every year I can actually make a substantial investment simply because I have the money. I can even afford to lose money and still turn out making a very sizable profit. So the contracting issue, there's a way that the statistics show that the contracting process is discriminatory towards the corporations. Simply because who can make the best deal? They use this bidding thing as they call it a level playing field. But if I can buy billions of dollars or millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise, and you can only buy 20, I automatically make the better deal. So this is a David and Goliath story that is constant. And whether it was affirmative action or goal setting or anything else, it still turned out the same way. And the reason why I'm speaking on this now is because policies have been put in place. And I'll use one example right here. We have GO 156, enacted 1988. This is what you call a general order. This is what the state of California put in place in order to kind of level debate the contracting field. And what it does is it requires annual reporting from telecommunications and utilities making over $25 million. And this shows how or where they're spending their money. And that's the reason why the reporting is necessary. So then there are other policies in place to say that, okay, you have to use a certain percentage of minority vendors when you do this contracting, simply because of the fact that these are all tax dollars. These tax dollars came from everybody. But not everybody can go into business. Not everybody is good at business. Not everybody even understands business. But the contracting issue is direct. I'd have to say, honestly, it's like top 3 on how the middle class ended up in the poorhouse or not having an opportunity. Because I also noticed too, with this corporation issue, you now have people that are so old. Oh my God. I can hear you slipping. I know you're slipping, but you're staying. You're hanging on for dear life. It's some sort of evaluation of life that you can't leave. You can't live. You can't survive without this job. Thus, you got all these old people, and I mean they old. Have you seen the waitresses around these? Oh my God! Used to be you go into the restaurant. Next thing you know, I got to get with the waitress, man. It's like, man, did you see her? She fine, young too. Look at her standing up straight. Man, you got these people come over here can't hardly speak no English. They can't stand up. They too old. Talking about, oh my God, my feet are killing me. Yeah, I know. And again, I understand that. But the issue is, when it comes to the contracting, you have these issues of this still 5% now taking over all of the contracting issues. So that all that does is just basically put more money into the wealthy, and the poor don't get an opportunity to bid correctly because they don't have the money to do it from the very beginning. But and again, the poor don't have wealthy friends. So there's not even nobody to lend them anything. So this whole contracting process is, I don't know if I should say it's like a catch-22 thing, because in every instance you have to look at this and say, well, if the average public can't succeed at going into business in order to reach these 25% goals, well then why do you have these things on paper? And I say this, it's because it makes it look good. And it helps the corporations because, you got to remember that they believe, they're paying these high salaries to get these qualified people. There's a lot of poor qualified people, but you're not giving anybody that opportunity. So we have to look at the contracting as a situation to where the contracting procedures are for the general public and small businesses. It doesn't say corporations. It said the general public, and that means small businesses. Okay? That's what it's for. So, the whole question is why? And it's to put money back into the economic structure. Because the average person that wants to have that business savvy, that wants to be able to grow into something larger, has the opportunity. But you see, the corporations they're just destroying that opportunity. And they're very crafty because they give things away. It's always the money. Because, and again, if you really break it down to it, I could blame the corporations, but really what it boils down to are these purchasers. Yeah. Because the purchasers, and here, I need you to pay attention to this. Because the policies, pay attention to the many policies that have been enacted really by the Obama administration and how those policies are being circumvented by these purchasers. And the majority of these purchasers, if you'll look closely, are Republicans. Yeah, they have these jobs. They have the majority of the upper management positions. because they all really kind of, I don't think it has anything to do with schooling because they're not very smart. They're not including me. So this gives me an opportunity to go to court and say, well, wait a minute, you negated me. You didn't give me the opportunity you gave the corporation, and that's where you strike back. Simply because of the fact that when it comes to unequal opportunity, you see, the policies dictate that you're supposed to develop a program. In order for the minority, those unfortunate, and they're also calling it underserved, communities, to be able to go into these processes and make money. Now, a lot of people don't do it simply because there's so much pushback. You have these purchasers that want the corporation's gratuities. They want these special incentives. They want these things because it makes their job easy. See, now, I'd like to make their job easy, but if I'm not able to participate into the process, I can't refine, I can't develop, and I can't really practice at getting better. And I went through this, and there was, I did this before, and that's why I'm going back again, because my particular expertise comes into the fact that, I was a storekeeper in the Navy, and I mean, I'm buying and purchasing for the whole carrier that I'm on. And I mean, it has to go hand in hand with what I'm doing right now, simply because now that I can't go back to work, I need another outlet. I need an opportunity. I need something that's going to sustain me. But you see, because of it, it's just not racial. I mean, it's corporate, and it's also racial. It goes back again, because these purchasers, they don't come up with the idea. They don't come up with a better way to distribute our tax dollars back evenly. Now, I think, and this is a note situation you need to look at, and this is why I communicate. Because look at this. If every contract, I don't care if it was rubber bands, if every contract was actually portioned out to the percentage of each culture, there wouldn't be a problem. That means that the black community could get 13% of every project, 13 to 15%, depending on, what the census had said at the last census count. Okay, because you're that much percentage of the community, so your people put in 15% of that money. So that money should be coming back to you, into your community, just like the Asians or the Indians or the Pacific Islanders. And I'm saying this simply because I came up with this. It was put into my head. I believe my master placed this in my head for a reason. And again, if you don't think of this, then that means that the school that you went to, Mr. Purchaser or Miss Purchaser, you've been deceived. Why? Because you're not here to help us. You're here to advance yourself. And I said earlier, I will go homeless before I'll commit another crime, or I'll treat my fellow man like a dog, or negate their life in order for my life to be better. And see, that's what this society is now. You can shoot me, partner. No, I'm not going to do it. If anybody going to die today, it's going to be me. Why? Because I don't even want to be here no more. I don't even like it. I'm 60 years in this, man. No more. I most likely will be tortured, till I'm 120. But okay, I'll go with that. I may even have to do it alone. I don't know. Ain't nobody love me. But in the meantime, the contracting, let's get back. Sorry, no need to tangent. But the contracting is a specific and a direct. I'm saying number up to top 3. You can place 1, 2, 3 however you want to. But this is a top 3 position for how the middle class specifically had been targeted and robbed of their livelihood. Yeah. Well, you can look it up, but the statistics will always bear out that at every opportunity, and I just heard something again on NPR, that even now as the Wall Street, the banks are being repealed, all these things that Obama, had done in order to look out for the little guy is now being all undone. Pretty soon you won't have no insurance. And pretty soon the contractors and all the rest of the people will be right back to business. But I'm suggesting to you that you pick up these issues. You look at AB 53 and talk about the annual reporting or the GO156. And there's another one here I want to share with you right quick if I could. And this one specifically, I believe, was about the insurance company. This is one of my favorites. I have a report here that I got from the insurance commissioner about a task force. Oh my God, it's horrible. You should see the information they have here. And this particular report came from 2013. So it just says that it's $100 million industry or more. And these guys almost have zero to none participation for minority vendors. So here, the issue is at this point right now. Oh, and again, I also have another report here. This is from 2014. This was from Greenlining. And these people have what's called a supplier diversity report card. Bad business. There was a lot of improvements from one year to the next. Don't have time to go into that right now. But if we look at this correctly, we have to say at every point, you know, contracts cover everything that are of interest to you. So this will give you an opportunity to have a better lifestyle. So in order to keep this short, I want to bring up another thing which is very, very pertinent for us as black people. The Hispanic community has been taken off the minority list. And I don't mind telling you right now, this is a great thing for us. And especially with this ban, you know, this is going to stop a lot of people from going into business, especially when it comes to the Hispanic people. So black people, try to capitalize. Do something with this opportunity that President Obama had put in place for us and has given us an opportunity to uplift. So look at the contracting issue. I don't care if it's, like I said, weapons. I don't care if it's toilet paper. You can make money on these things. These things are relevant to us. And you know, shout out to Drexel. My God, man, this guy's been at this for a long time, longer than I have. Great strides. Keep that up, brother. I'm working with you anytime. So, like I said, you've been warned. You don't want to do it, that's fine. Consequences are on you. I don't answer. But, hey, contracting, think about it. And with the insurance, and as long as these Republicans don't get rid of it, you'll be able to go into business, have your own insurance, do some deadlining. I'm telling you, man, it's a great business. And you get to meet people that are enthusiastic, and they want to improve. So, let's make it quick and short. Thank you. God bless you. And pay attention to the contracting. And remember, you know, this new world that this society is about to go into, whether that has to do with NATO or Europe or Kim Jong or in the rest of these things, y'all get your seatbelts on, your flight jackets, your under gear. Matter of fact, get your armor on. Yeah, because that's why he gave us that armor for this very time. Bless. See you later.